Welcome to Creative Brews. I'm Kristen, and this is your weekly dose of creativity, where photography, design, and life come together. So, grab your favorite drink, and let's talk about what's brewing. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Creative Brews. This is the podcast where we dive deep into some deep topics and conversations and basically just talk about all things life. In general, life. What makes life life, right? Which a lot of times are the deep conversations that we sometimes try to avoid, I feel like. But it's also the podcast where, and I didn't see this one coming. When I created this podcast, I never sat down and said, well, I want to make a mindset, manifestation, spiritual podcast. It just kind of happened. I always say in my intro, where photography, design, and life come together, or something along those lines. And the idea behind all of that was so that way I would have a broad, spectrum of topics to talk about. But I never wanted to associate those topics with psychology or spirituality or anything like that. It just kind of happened that all unfolded the way that it has unfolded. And to be honest, it's kind of fitting because I kind of just really wanted to create a podcast. I don't really know how to put this in words per se. I wanted to create a podcast that was all about self-improvement through the lens of photography, design, and life. Because those topics I have always been passionate about. And so I figured, well, I would never run out of things to say or topics or stuff to talk about and stuff like that. So it's really unique that I have kind of taken it into psychology, which I've always been passionate about. And I've kind of taken it into mindset, which is, I guess you are kind of seeing, on my journey, I've definitely been leaning into more of the spirituality side, as well as psychology, like why your brain thinks and does, what it does and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's just, okay, I'm gonna wrap it up with, I think it's just cool and funny and amazing that things just unfold the way that they do, and you kind of can't help but when you are leaning into things in your life, especially if it feels good, because that's what I've been doing lately. Now, that's not to say, oh, well, I sit here and don't do things that are uncomfortable, or I keep myself shut off from the world, or whatever. No, that's far from the truth. First off, no, what I'm saying is I no longer feel like I have to chase after certain things. Okay, so I thought of I basically wanted to create this episode. This is going to be a pretty blabby one. I'm going to try and keep it hopefully within 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm going to try to really just hurry up and get this out. Basically. So usually I am someone that if I get a video idea, or well, an episode idea, excuse me, still slip up and say that. If I get an episode idea, I put it in my notepad app. So my notepad is like filled up with a bunch of notes and stuff like that. So I have all kinds of ideas. I don't know that I'll do all of them, but it's kind of like a running list. So that way, if I'm like, well, what do I want to do? What do I want to talk about? I can just go to the Notepad app and look at it and see what I want to talk about. What, calls out to me and stuff like that. Because not every time you get an idea, can you just go ahead and whip out your camera and stuff like that, especially because I usually film with my Sony. I'm actually filming with my phone. So I've got this hooked up to my phone, and I've got my little ring light just because our little one is napping and I'm trying to kind of hurry. So if this seems rushed, it's not because I'm trying to hurry it along. I'm just trying to, go ahead and get this in before our little one gets up. So what was I gonna? Oh yeah. So the Notepad app. I have a running list. Now usually I have notes up here. I have a little bit of notes, but not much, just because this is really just supposed to be a low key, sit back, chill, kind of episode. Currently, I believe I've got maybe one or two more episodes to go of the Escaping the Matrix, which, so I'm doing the Mindset Myths miniseries, which is kind of, it might evolve. I'm not sure. I've been wanting to do like a mindset series, period. Whether it be mindset myths or whatever. So I don't know. I might rename it. I might restructure it and stuff like that. So I really just wanted to sit down and blab. I got this idea yesterday, so I'm trying to channel the thinking, which is kind of hard. So that's why I jotted some things down in my Notepad app, which still is kind of hard because whenever you get like inspiration for a video or an episode or whatever it is, content, you're like, oh, I need to go ahead and do this before you kind of lose the motivation and the whole message behind whatever it is. Because a lot of what I talk about, I talk a lot about of what interests me, what I find interesting, the spiritual side of things, the psychology, and the day-to-day normal life period, right? So, and kind of share my story sorta here and there, not really, but I usually share my story in bits and pieces. I don't know that I'll ever sit down and really get deep because there are some complicated parts, I guess, so I think you all can understand that. But anyways, a lot of what I talk about, I actually feel like called to talk about some of these topics. So I know that might sound crazy, but I really do. So I think that is the overarching motivation for me is I will get like in the shower. I think it was yesterday in the shower. I was like, oh, I need to talk about like showing up for yourself and not letting yourself down. Especially on social media. People see you posting regularly, or you're posting what lights you up and what makes you happy and stuff like that. And sometimes, it's just because people want attention. Like, let's just go ahead and put that out there. That's not a, oh my God, groundbreaking thing. But some people don't really care to get attention. And I know that sounds like an oxymoron because, well, then why would you be posting? But, and it wouldn't be an episode if I didn't punch the mic, so. Yeah, it might sound like, okay, well, then why do you even have an account? Why are you even posting and stuff like that? Well, so my thing is I do share motivation, mindset, self-improvement things, spirituality, yeah, and the day-to-day life things that I find are magical. And I do all of that because obviously at the end of the day, I'm still a photographer. I will always be a photographer, whether I have a social media account or not. Like, I've always been one that's drawn to documenting my life as well as my loved ones' lives. And I think it just stems back from being able to look back on things and see how far you've come, see the growth. Because it's one thing obviously you should be feeling your growth. As you grow through life, you should really take the time to slow down and sit in that and really be proud of yourself and soak in it even. That's something I'm still learning. I'm still learning, especially as a mom and stuff like that, to slow down. I'm someone who's always been like, go, go, go. I got to get this done quickly. Let's see how much I can get done within 60 seconds. Oh, that's not enough. So I'm always someone who's like pushing myself. And it's never enough almost. So I then push myself harder and harder and harder and, oh, you're not doing it right. You're not, basically what you're really having to do is kind of slow yourself down first off and really change your inner voice within you. That's the hard part because your inner voice is usually the emotional. Well, I'll preface this with this. What I've come to realize, especially on my journey, is that my inner voice, your inner voice, and how you talk to yourself, you should be your own best friend. If you are not your own best friend, it's not gonna work. Like, if you want to grow, you're not going to grow. All these things, you're going to keep yourself from growing and stuff like that. You're kind of like in your own way, if that makes any sense. My advice to anyone is to get out of your own way and really dive into... There's all kinds of layers to, like, when someone's healing, on their healing journey. So, and that's... I feel like I'm still maybe on my healing journey. I'm still learning from day to day, as we all are. I mean, you should never stop learning through your journey. Whatever journey you're on, whatever life journey you're on, my advice is to stay out of your own way, get out of your own way, talk to yourself better, treat yourself better, and never stop learning. So, and I've always been someone who has always been like that. Like, I've always loved learning and exploring, and why does this do that? What makes it do that? Have all these questions. So, it's not that I'm trying to be difficult. It's just that, I don't know, it's kind of like a part of my personality. But it also is because you're growing. Like, This whole mindset, manifestation, spirituality stuff has really opened my eyes to new things, I guess you could say. Like, to put it in a quick wrap up, I think that's what I would say. But anyways, I have been talking now for like 15 minutes. So I kind of just wanted to make this a super short one, kind of blabby. But the overall arching message here is to, just because people cannot see your vision, whether that be a friend, colleague, family member, whoever it is, never stop building whatever it is that you're building. So, like, if someone can't see your vision, it's only because they can't see. That's it. They cannot perceive what you're building in their brains. They can't, in their brain, they can't picture whatever it is that you're saying that you're building, right? Or they see too many risks, so they really don't take the time to absorb and really listen to whatever it is that you're building. So in return, they're just there nodding, you know. And sometimes people don't know how to support or how to show their support. I'm saying this because I know a lot of, like, on the business side, a lot of business owners get burnt out. They get discouraged and stuff like that. And it's only because their vision is bigger than, like someone whose vision is to open their own restaurant. People can visualize, oh, okay, yeah, that's amazing. What kind of food are you going to be? Automatically they're engaging and stuff like that. Whereas, like, okay, for me, I'll use me as an example. My business is design support for the busy business owner who doesn't have time to sit down and design something. So either they get AI to do it, or, they throw something together and they're like, oh, I'll make it better later. Later never comes. So that's my business. There is a need out there for it, but sometimes when I talk about my business, not everybody is really going to understand. They're just like, okay, well, I can still just DIY, my visuals. I can still get AI to do it. Like, that's great, but, and I get it. Like, as business owners, we're having to wear so many hats, which is another angle that I come at, people with, is that, you already have to do admin, marketing, go out to events and, present your business, talk about your business. If you're not talking about your business to, a few different people a month, I would say, you're kind of losing out on, I guess if you're marketing, that's cool, but it's different when you're in person and you're able to talk to, that other business owner who maybe they run an academy or whatever it is that they're doing, whatever it is that they're building. Or maybe they're in the beginnings. I can still help with, I not only provide design services, I can help with consulting and stuff like that, which is kind of another reason I wanted to start the podcast. Is after I started my podcast, then I started thinking, oh, I can share business things that I've learned along the way, or tips and tricks, things to think about. I'm all about point of view and different point of views and stuff. So yeah, anyways, I hope today's episode wasn't too blabby. It's been a while since I've done a visual episode. Life's just been crazy, to say the least, in all the amazing ways. Like, Yeah, life has just been amazing. Planning a wedding, being a mom, being a wife, and all of that has just been fulfilling. My life has just been amazing. And that is, I guess I'll end it with never stop doing what lights you up. Whether it be content related, whether it be in real life, whether it be talking about your business, whether it be whatever it is that you're building, do not stop building it. Even if nobody gets what you're building, why you're building, and all this other stuff, it's your vision for a reason. You didn't just come up with this. It's a calling. So if it's a calling for you, do not stop. Today's episode, the message is to never stop showing up for yourself. Because the moment you do, you leave yourself behind. You get in your own way. And just because everybody else is doing whatever they're doing doesn't mean you should do it too. That whole saying, it was something like, so if your friend jumps off the bridge, you would jump off too. That's just what I'm going to leave you guys with. So, yeah. And again, I know social media can be, I don't know, draining to say the least. But see, that's why I do what I love. I share what I love. And obviously, I do not share my whole life on social media. Like, just because I share a few things does not mean people know me, right? So, but I'm showing up for myself differently. And I think it really shows through not only content that I create, but in life, period. I think everybody in my life can tell. Obviously, I'm the same me, but I always say different, but I'm different. So, Kristen, yes, but I have learned a lot of things. I think that's where a lot of like the motivation and this, passion. I have a whole new purpose and passion and stuff like that. And I'm really just proud of myself. And I think you all who are tuning in and keep tuning in and stuff like that should really sit with yourself, slow down the best that you can. Believe me, I'm still learning how to slow down. And you should really just soak up and be proud of yourself. Like, even if it was just getting out of bed or taking a shower or eating better or whatever it is, however small it is, you should really sit in that and be very proud of yourself. So, yeah, never stop showing up for yourself because you shouldn't leave yourself behind. So, yes, with all that being said, I will see you all in the next episode. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye!